was really, really off key. Generally my singing is though, so I don't know why I seem surprised about that. I'm very, very excited to be here, and I'm just realizing how hungry I am. So if I pass out mid-video, if you guys can just like Facebook message my husband and tell him that I passed out in the office, that I need some snacks, that would be really great. Hey girl! Hi. I'm really excited to be here on Heather's Teams page because you guys are seriously killing it this year. Like, beyond killing it. You're doing so good that I can't even believe that you guys are letting me come train to you because you're already doing so good. But here I am, and I'm excited because I love training and I love meeting new friends, and I just love all of the things that are part of this. But while I'm waiting for some of you to hop on, I just figured I would do a little baby intro about myself and see if you had any questions about me, and then we can get into the real good stuff, okay? So, hello again. My name is Deidre Miller, and I am a Sapphire Crown Princess, and I live in the beautiful state of Idaho. And let's see, what can I tell you about me? My husband just came home. Hi, Adam, I'm doing a training. Okay, love you. I live in Idaho. I have been with Senegence for about a year and 3 months. I'll give you a quick Senegence journey recap. So I joined in June. Before Senegence, I did a ton of MLMs, and by a ton I mean 3, and I wasn't very good at any of them, and no one ever wanted to buy anything from me, but I still did it because I love discounts and I love to figure out ways to save money, and so that's what I was going to do with Senegence. I signed up in June so I could get a discount on my lipstick, and I got my stuff. I showed some people because I loved it, so obviously I want to show people, and generally I show people and they just don't buy from me anyways, but I still show them. But this time it was super weird because people wanted to buy things from me. And I was like, what? This is strange. And then what happened is I placed my first order with other people's orders included, and then they got their stuff, and then you know what happened after that? Some of those people wanted to sign up under me, and I was like, what the heck? This is so strange. This has never happened to me before. Yet here I was starting to make sales and build a team out of nowhere. I didn't even know that this was I didn't realize that people actually did that when they signed up for MLMs. I thought they just signed up for discounts. Who knew? And then I got a few people on my team. They placed their orders, their whatever. And then, so that was July. And then in August, I got my first commission check, guys, and it was $450. What? $450 for a whole month of me not even knowing what I'm doing and just signing people up because they said they wanted to join. So I just did what my upline did and gave them my link and called it a day. I got $450. I had about 6 girls on my team at that point. And they all placed big orders in July. And so it worked out really, really great in my favor. And I got my check and I thought, okay, $450. That is as much as I make in 1 week at my full-time job. 40 hours, I make $450. 1 month of not even knowing what the heck I'm doing, I made $450. Clearly, I'm putting my time into the wrong place. Obviously, I still had to work 40 hours a week. But if I can put a little bit more time into Senegence, I could probably make a little bit more, and that would be awesome. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to recruit, I'm going to sell, I'm actually going to do this thing. I created my group, I started telling people about it, I started doing all of the things and building my team, and then, let's see, that was August. In August, I ranked to Maiden and Royal and Waiting. In September, I hit I hit Royal and Waiting in July. In September, I hit Royal. In October, I hit Lady, right? July, August, September. September, I hit Lady. October, I double ranked to Duchess. I got my car, or I qualified for my Senegence car, and I got it because my car was on its last leg. In December, in November, nothing happened because I double ranked in October. And so I was trying to catch up with myself in, December, and it was just crazy. My team just kept growing and things kept happening, and I was like, this is crazy. Maybe I could make as much to quit my full-time job. How cool would that be? And then in December, I hit Princess, and then in January, I hit Crown Princess. I went to my very first training, which was Pit Stop. Joni asked me why I hadn't quit my job yet, and I decided I was going to quit my job. I went home. The next week, I quit my job. I worked full-time as an event planner at Boise State. Crazy. I hit Crown Princess. I already said that, but I just said it again. So it took me 6 months to hit Crown Princess. And then in February, so 6 weeks later, so halfway through February, I hit Ruby Crown Princess, so my next million. And I got my first Crown Princess on my first line. And then she got her first Crown Princess. So I had 2 Crown Princesses by end of February on my first and my second line. And then in March, a month after my second million, I got another million, and I hit Sapphire Crown Princess, so 3 million, and then I got my third Crown Princess. So I had a first line, second line, and third line Crown Princess. They were all underneath each other, helping to lift and build my team. And then in March, I also qualified for Cabo, and I qualified for Costa Rica. And then in April, I went to seminar, and I lost my Crown Princesses. They all broke off into their own dominion. And so now here I am, rebuilding, regrowing. Right now, I'm working really hard to qualify for Disney World. And hopefully I will, now that it's the new qualification period, be qualifying for whatever the next Lips trip is, because I love I love trips. And so that's my story really quick. I grew really fast. I had a lot of great things happen. And then seminar year, I'm back to not ground zero, maybe the 5th floor, because I have to rebuild because I had half my team break off. I might have just hit Ruby Crown Princess again. I was like $3,000 away last time I checked. And so my goal this year is to hit Queen, because I really want to go to the Queen's Retreat. And yeah, that's my SeneGence story. And then outside of SeneGence, a little things you need to know about me. Like I said earlier, I'm from Idaho. Yes, and I've got my Idaho babe on here that came to my training, and I had to run out because I teach tap dance 2 nights a week, and I love dancing, and I love making up my own nicknames, apparently, because now I have my training persona, which is Dr. D-Money, because I feel like I turn into a different human when I train. I am the executive director for the Miss Idaho organization. That's my volunteer job. I used to compete in pageants. I have a really cute little dog named Slider. If you follow me on any social media, you see him. And I have a very handsome husband named Adam, who works full-time with me. He retired from his job playing baseball in May, and now we both work at home together, and he's trying to just figure out his own business so that we can, become a power team, I guess. So that's a little bit about my SeneGence journey, a little bit about me, and now I will actually get to the training. I'm sorry, me talking about myself took a lot longer than I was planning on. So now I'm going to give you the real stuff. If you have any questions throughout the training, go ahead and ask them. If you have any questions about me, about anything, I'm here. Okay, now we're going to get to the real stuff. The reason I'm here is not to talk about myself, even though I just did it for a very long time, so I'm very sorry. The reason I'm here today is to talk about building your brand. Okay, and I've got little notes because I did a slideshow on this one. Let's see. You don't need to know about me. I already told you that. Okay, I have a surprise for you. Guys, guess what? We're talking about branding. I should show you this again. Building your brand. Oh, it's backwards. But I need to tell you, I need to let you in on a little secret. Your brand is not SeneGence. I think that is the very first, most important thing that you need to know right here, right now. Your brand is not SeneGence. Okay? SeneGence is a service that your brand offers. SeneGence is its own brand. SeneGence is its own thing. And you are an independent distributor, independent being the key word, distributor that offers SeneGence as part of your brand. So a lot of us get into these pigeonholes where we think that our brand is SeneGence. And so what happens when we do that is all we do is we talk about SeneGence and the products and sales and blah, 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 blah. And people tune us out because they don't want to hear about SeneGence anymore because they think we're annoying. lipstick girls when really we're a lot more than lipstick, but they don't even know that because they've tuned us out the second day we joined or asked them to join something because we have pushed SeneGence so freaking hard, right? Wrong. I mean, right, people do that, but wrong. You don't want to do it anymore because your brand, oh man, that was weird. Your brand is not SeneGence. Your brand is, fill in the blank. My brand is Deidre M. I use Deidre M for everything. Deidre M, Deidre M, Deidre M. I'm not SeneGence with Deidre M. I'm Deidre M who does SeneGence, right? Right? Does that make sense? So this is the very first thing I need you all to realize at this very moment in time. You are your own brand. You are your own person. SeneGence is offering you an opportunity to build your brand. Your brand is not building SeneGence. SeneGence is building your brand. And you have an incredible product right now in your brand that can help you grow and achieve many things, okay? So, let's talk about this. Your brand is more than a business page or a business group, okay? Your brand is not just pigeonholed down into your VIP group or your page or your Instagram. Your brand isn't determined by that. Your brand is determined by who you are. Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you know what you have to offer to the world? This is my favorite quote. It's not my favorite quote, but it's up there. I really like this quote. No one is you, and that is your power. What is your power? What do you have to offer this world? What can you tell people and show people every single day that is going to help uplift them and motivate them and change them and inspire them and give them knowledge and truth and facts and all of that? What? Who are you? What is your power? And what can you offer to this world? Because that is your brand. Your brand isn't some page that you created. Yeah, that's where you can promote your brand, but your brand is you. And your brand is what you can tell people and what you can show people and how you can connect with people. Okay? So, your brand is personal. It's your real life. It is the connections and the comments and the things that you share with other people. And that is why your brand is important. Your brand isn't important because it's helping you create a career for yourself. Yeah, that's a bonus. Sorry, I feel like something was behind me, but I can't tell what it is. Sorry. Well, sorry, I got distracted. I'm like a squirrel. Okay, your brand, those things, they do not make your brand important. The money, those things don't make your brand important. Who you are as a human is what makes your brand important. And you need to focus on that because your brand is a definition of you. It is a culmination of you. It is who you are. And you need to make sure that your brand is the same no matter where you are. Because right now, your brand, no matter what you're doing, who you're talking to, where you're posting, any of that, anything you do today affects your brand. Okay? Who are you in your Facebook group? Who are you on Instagram? Who are you on your personal page? Who are you when you go out for drinks with your friends? Who are you when you're with your family? Who are you when you're with your kids? Who are you when you talk to your husband? Who are you when you go to classes? Think of all these things. Every single one of those pieces that I'm just talking about, and there's a billion more, all of those things influence your brand. You can't just pick and choose when your brand is relevant because what I do on my personal page is going to affect my business. Because my business is my brand and I am my brand. Does that make sense? What I do here is going to affect here because they're all connected. I can't pick and choose when I talk about certain things or when I want to say certain things, right? Right? So I don't talk about politics anywhere. I talk about it privately with my husband or with my family or maybe with my good friends, but I don't post about it anywhere because I don't want those sorts of things to affect my brand. I have hard days. I have times when I want to complain. I don't post about those things. I don't say those things to people that I don't trust and they're not in my tight inner circle because I don't want those things to influence my brand. If I'm posting on my personal page about all of these things that I hate and are going wrong, when people are looking for someone to buy SeneGence from, or to find a stylist, or to find someone that can plan an event, because those are all parts of my brand too, they're not going to come to me because they're going to be like, Deidre complains all the freaking time. I'm not going to want to use her. She's going to complain to me the whole time that we're together. Okay? So what you do in your personal life, whether you like it or not, affects your brand. So you need to find where you can have your places to vent. For me, my places to vent are my husband, sometimes my parents, not all the time, and my best friends. And I can vent to those handfuls of people, but I never put it out there where someone else can see it, because the second I do that is the second that it influences my brand, and I'm not willing to compromise my business for a few minutes of stress, or a few days of feeling down, or a few days of having a hard time. Because yeah, we all have hard times, we all get stressed, we all have things that make us real heated and mad, but the second you put that out there, people aren't gonna remember the awesome things about you. They're gonna remember the time you went on a rant and said the F word 10 times. I don't say the F word, so I actually wouldn't have ever posted that, but I would have probably said something like very heated. I don't post those things because I don't want people to connect those mean and hateful things with me and my business and my brand. I want them to remember Deidre's fun, Deidre makes up fake nicknames for herself, Deidre talks too much, and Deidre, I want to be around her because she uplifts me, right? Yes, perfect. You need to be you all across the board. You need to be you no matter where you are. And when you have those hard moments, and there's angry moments, and those feelings that are often associated with negative connotations or whatever, bring them in, find your tribe that you can share that with. And like I said, for me, it's my husband, sometimes my parents, and my best friends. Okay? So, how are you going to figure this out? Your brand. I've talked about, you need to find out what your power is. You need to figure out what you can do. You need to figure out what you offer to the world. I've talked about that. And you're probably sitting there like, I don't know how to figure that out. I thought I was good at some things, but then I realized I'm not. Like, I thought I was so good at crafts. Guys, so I have a blog. I used to attempt to do crafts on my blog. Wrong. I'm bad. I have no patience for crafts. And like, not a single one. I'll buy it. I'll pay someone else to make it for me. I am not going to do crafts. So like, you're probably thinking like, what do I have to offer? What is my skill? What can I, like, what? How do I figure that out? Because sometimes when you're trying to find your niche, it's kind of hard. Because you don't want to seem braggy. You know you're good at some things, but are you really good enough to be an expert on that, to make a part of your brand? So how do you first want to think of, how do you see yourself? What are you an expert in? What do people come to you to learn about on a regular basis? What is something that is uniquely you? And what strengths do you have, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go through those questions for me, and I want you, while I'm answering it for me, to think about it for you. Leave it in the comments. I want to know. Because right now, only Delilah and Heather are actually saying anything, and there's 23 of you on here, and I'm not seeing any other comments. What? Where are you guys at? So I want you guys to answer these questions in the comments as I'm going along. It's very important that we all do this together. Okay, so finding your brand. First, you want to think of, how do you see yourself? Okay? What are you an expert in? Right now, leave it in the comments. What are you an expert in? I'm giving you a few seconds of silence. Sorry, you guys don't have to like apologize for not commenting. I'm just calling you out because that's what I do. Okay, so what am I an expert in? I think that I am an expert in helping people feel good about themselves. Chris is crocheting. Having babies. Oh, that's funny. People. Okay, Lauren, if you don't know, then we'll figure it out. That's the next step. Positivity. These are good. Inspiration. I feel like I am an expert in making people feel like they can do anything. Which sounds really weird. There's a whole backstory to it, but I'm not going to go into it because I'm already talking too much. Uplifting. Okay, so you guys have some things. Now, what do people come to you to learn about? What do people come to you, and I want you to answer this now. What do people come to you to learn about? Because you got to think, there's got to be something that someone has come to you about at least once in your life. How did you do that? What would you recommend for me? Cooking, cleaning, managing children. I can't do that. I have to go to other people for that. Healthcare, that's a good one. So for me, what do you come to me to learn about? They come to ask me about fashion, which seems really weird because right now I don't really look like I know anything about fashion because my friend picked me up when my hair was wet to go to Costco. And so I just put on a hat and I have on no makeup. So like literally no makeup. I just have on silk. My face feels so great because I shaved it and then I put on silk. Okay, that's a tangent. Managing mixed baby's hair, giving advice. Okay guys, these are things you can include in your brand. People come to me about fashion, so I include it in my brand. If people come to you for advice, include it in your brand. Do like a Dear Lauren comment. If people come to you for how to manage mixed baby's hair, then talk about it on your site. Like throw in a post every once in a while. What is something that is uniquely you? Next question. What is something that is uniquely you? So what is something that, like I said earlier, your power, what can you offer that other people can't? And it's not that no one else in the world can offer it, but it's something that you know that you can offer that maybe some other people can't. For me, mine ties into fashion. There are a million beautiful women so good at fashion that are a size 0 to 4 and about 5'4". I am not that person, okay? Heather is so good at mess into a message. That was the best training. I am not that person. I am 5'9". I'm about a size 10. I'm going to say other things, but I can't remember. I weigh 175 pounds. I've got long legs and a long, weird body. And so I can offer that to other people. I can offer how to dress your body for different things because I've also been like every size from like a 6 to a 12. And so like I know different ways to dress your body type and I've helped other people. So that's something unique I can offer. I can offer more people how to dress their body because I'm not the typical that you see all the time, right? You don't see many women like me trying to do fashion blogging because they are like, oh, I'm not a size 0. And I'm like, neither am I, but I like clothes, so I'm going to show you how to wear them. Okay. Now, last one. Sorry, I keep getting on tangents. The last one is, what strengths do you feel you have? Thanks. I wasn't trying to fish for compliments when I said that, but I do appreciate that you said that, Valerie. What strengths do you feel you have? What strengths? Leave them in the comments and I'll share mine. My strengths. I'm really good at talking a lot. And I'm really good at I'm good at public speaking. I like talking to people. I like doing things like this. I like being out there and connecting and motivating. I'm really good at creating relationships and all of that. And so for me, that is something that I feel strongly that I can share. And I made that part of my brand. I like to train. I like to connect. I like to network. Okay. So those are things I feel like I'm good at. So now I have a list of things in my head that I'm like, yeah, these are the things that it would make sense to tie into my brand. But you want to validate that. You want to validate those things. Seriously, Heather, we're like the same. Okay, you want to make sure that the things that you feel are your brand align with your demographic. Okay, do you know your demographic? How many of you, give me some hearts if you know who your demographic is. If you have any idea at all who your demographic is. A few people know. A few people know. Okay, here they're coming. Here come the hearts. You need to figure out what your demographic is. Who is buying from you? Who is tuning into the things you have to say? Who is there? You need to figure out who's following you. On Instagram, did you know that you can go look up your insights and stuff if you have a business Instagram? You can look up if it's men or women, where they're from, what age they are. You want to figure these things out. You can also get group insights on Facebook. Who is buying from you? Who is following you? And then, what do those people come to you for? Okay, this is where you get the validation. Think about the people in there. My group is a bunch of not moms. That's the only way I can say that. Delilah just said moms. I am not a mom. I don't attract moms. I don't even know how to be a mom. I tried to babysit last week. I'm really bad at it. So I don't have moms. I have some moms, but it's not like, here, I'm going to talk to you about mom stuff because I literally have no clue. I'll talk to you about dogs. I have a really cute dog and I can talk to you about that, but I can't talk to you about mom stuff. So I'm not going to go in there and start talking about like tips to be a mom. no one's going to listen to me. They're going to be like, check, bye, unfollow, leave the group, whatever they have to do. Yes, exactly. You attract what you put out. And so you need to make sure that you're aligning with your demographic to keep the ones that you have and then to draw in more people that connect like that. Does that make sense? Okay, Stephanie, you said exactly. I have no idea. This is where you can validate either what you feel about yourself, or if you don't know what you feel about yourself and what you think your brand is, you can ask your demographic to tell you. What do people come to you for? You can ask questions like, these are fun. These are engaging things you can put on your page, and hopefully people will respond and it'll give you a better idea. I'm showing you. You clearly cannot read this. It's backwards, but I'm still showing you because I feel better that way. Some fun things you can post on your page to figure out what your brand is, or to figure out how you can tailor your brand more, or what your demographic wants, is anyone that knows me knows I love fill in the blank, right? So if I posted that, people would probably say lip sense, fashion, tacos, because I love tacos. Taco Tuesday, live your life on Taco Tuesday. Guys, it's Taco Tuesday, and it's National Taco Day. Today's the best day in the whole world. Except for me, because I'm not even eating tacos right now. I'm on a diet. I'm trying to get skinny. Side note. They know I love tacos. Again, pageants, tap dancing, crowns, my husband, little dogs, lots of trashy TV. I love reality trashy TV. Like, they know these things. They're going to fill those out. And as people comment, you start to see things that you didn't know that people thought about you. And then you're like, oh, maybe I could tie that in more. Yeah, I do have a copy of this slideshow I can share with you all. You can tie those things in more, because I knew that I loved reality TV. And I knew that people knew that about me, but I didn't think that that's what they associated with me. Does that make sense? So then people started saying that, and I was like, well, I guess I better tie in The Bachelor more to my stuff, because everyone knows I love The Bachelor now. They were like, when you think of me, what do you think about? The Bachelor, The Bachelor, The Bachelor. I'm like, okay, I guess here we go. We're going to add in The Bachelor. And so I can tie those things into my brand, and I can figure out what my demographic thinks about me, because if they think those things about me, then they probably are following me because they want to hear those things. Does that make sense? Like, if they think that and they're still following you, it's probably because they think you're going to talk about that thing. Does that make sense? Give me some thumbs ups if that makes sense, because I feel like I said it a little weird. Some other things you can ask your demographic is, what do you think I'm an expert in? They'll tell you. You're so good at this. You're such a good mom. You're so good at crafts. You're so good at cooking. I'm naming all of the things I'm not good at. You're so good at cleaning. You're so good at always being gentle. I'm like the most blunt, sorry person in the whole world. Or if you can ask them a question like, if you could pick one thing for me to share daily, what would it be? Right? What would you want to hear from me every single day? And people will say, I want to see more lip colors. I want to see your husband show up and say funny things more often because he's a hoot. And yeah, that's not me, but it's part of my brand. Adam is very much part of my brand. We do some things together. I'd like to see more funny jokes from you. I'd like to see more gifts. I'd like to see more ridiculous videos that you've found somewhere on the internet. What do people want to see from you? They'll tell you. These are the things that you can ask your audience, because if your audience is saying it about you or connecting it to you, then it's things that you need to tie into your brand more. Okay? Give me some thumbs up if that makes sense. And I'm going to flip to the next page while I'm waiting for your thumbs up to come in. Give me some angry faces if it doesn't make sense. I really am hoping that there's no angry faces. What if your group is Jennifer, I don't understand what you're asking. Can you re-ask that? Okay. So now you understand what a brand is, right? You understand. Your brand is not SeneGence. Your brand is not what you sell. Your brand is not your page. Your brand is who you are. What do you have to offer? What is your power? What can you share with the world? That is your brand, okay? Your brand isn't the colors and the logo and all of that. Those things come after you can figure out what your brand is. Does that make sense? a brand and branding are two different things. So very first, you need to figure out your brand. Like, people don't comment on the post I post in the store. Just started a month ago. Jennifer, engagement takes a while to build, especially with the algorithm. So I just think if you can consistently post and maybe ask some of your friends or family to hop on right after you post a comment, it will slowly build, but you have to be consistent. And if you stop because people aren't responding, then the engagement will never grow. It takes a long time. I took off a month in the summer like an idiot, and I'm rebuilding mine right now, and I still don't have like as good of engagement as I did before. It just takes time. Hope that answers your question. Okay, so brand and branding are two different things. Your brand is who you are. Now you know what your brand is, you can go into branding. Cool? They're two different things. Brand, branding. Brand, we were talking about your brand. Now we're going to talk about branding. So now that you know what your brand is and you know the things that you want to share and post and all of that, you need to build consistency in your branding. First, it's consistency in your brand, and then it's consistency in your branding. The key to consistent branding is to find a few things that will stick. I'm going to flip this around again. Once again, it's backwards, so I'll share this with you later. And it's really a lot prettier in color, so I'll make sure you see it in color. The first thing you want to focus on is color. That's funny because I was just talking about color. The first thing you want to focus on is color. What color do you enjoy and want to be a part of every part of your branding that you would feel comfortable sharing today and in 10 years and in 50 years and in 100 years? Yes, because we're all going to live that long and we're going to look like we're 12 because we use Senegence and their Cineplex complex is incredible. So for me, my color is... You can't really see it. My color printer stopped working. My color is like a deep purple. If you go to any of my... my website and my Facebook, my Instagram, you'll see my branding and it sticks. And I'll give you how to find me later. So you want to find a color. Sorry, that can be black and white. That can be gold. That can be blue, whatever. It can be two colors. It could be orange and green. Whatever you want, pick your color. Then pick some fonts. Pick maybe 2 or 3 fonts, and those are the fonts you're going to use for everything for the eternities, unless you decide to rebrand, which rebranding is irritating, but it's fine. Sorry, Brandon. You want to pick some fonts, and you want to consistently use those fonts. So I have like one that's a very like, well, here. This is one of my fonts, and this is one of my fonts. I have a pretty cursive one, and I have a pretty straight, like, sans serif font, because that way I can use them for different things. And then the last thing, you can add in images. Okay, I don't have really any images on my brand. I have like leopard print and stuff, but I don't have any like specific images. But you can do like a pineapple, you can do a flamingo, you can do, there's a million things. You can do a sun, lips, whatever you want. You can add those things. You don't have to. Images are not a requirement, but they are helpful. And images, this is why I like images, and I wish that I would have put a taco on my brand or something, because there's a girl on my team that does pineapples for everything, and now anytime someone sees something with pineapples, they either take a picture and send it to her, or they buy it for her. I want people to buy me tacos every time they see them, and they know they'll see me shortly after. I want that. I should have put a taco on my brand, but I didn't, and now I'm missing out on all of the tacos. I'm real upset about it, clearly. So if you want, you can do something, because then anytime someone sees that thing, I don't know why I just jumped, but anytime someone sees that thing, they're going to think of you. For example, pineapples. Like I just said, this girl, we went to Pit Stop in July, and someone not even on her team came up to her and gave her a pineapple necklace, because they're like, I know you use pineapples and everything, so I saw this and I thought of you and I just thought you should have it. And I was like, freaking A. I should have put a taco on my logo. Maybe then people would bring me those funny taco shirts, or I'm clearly still bitter about it. Okay. Put an image on if you want gifts. I like gifts. I want to get all of the gifts. I'm saying gifts, not gifts like the funny memes. I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. You need a color, you need a font, and you can add an image if you want. Okay. Other items to consider in the consistency of your design and your branding. Gifts are my love language too. I'm totally with you, Heather. My husband and I have budgets for birthdays and Christmas, and he's always like, what's the budget? And I always say, well, the budget is this, but you're welcome to spend more on me if you want. Because I love getting gifts so much. My birthday's on Friday, and that's what I actually told him this morning when he said that he needed to go shopping for my birthday. But my husband's actually a very good gift giver. He's excellent at it because he looks at what I want and then he finds things himself, and he's really good. Okay, sorry, that was another tangent again. I'm sorry, I do this all the time. Okay, other items to consider in your design and your branding. You need to think about things like the image, hue, or the coloring. Heather, I think we were meant to be friends. Okay, you need to think about image, hue, or coloring. Are you more of a warm person or are you more of a cool person? Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Becky. Yes, Libras. Are you more like, do you like things that are like have a lot of yellow in them, a lot of red? You know what I mean? You got to think of these things. So for me, I would show you on my phone, but I'm going live from it right now. So I'll give you my information at the end and you can go look. My stuff, I don't use a lot of red at all, or oranges or things like that. I use a lot of greens and blues and purples and things in my brand. And when you scroll through my Instagram, you see that. When you scroll through my feeds, you see that because my colors are not red. I'm not a big red person, so I don't put red in my feed very often. So that's what I mean by like colors and hues. Okay. The next thing is image saturation. Do you like things to be really bright and rich colors, or do you like things to be a little more faded? So there's like two trains you can go with this that are really popular right now. One is like the really bright popping colors, blah blah blah. The other one is like the faded, like grayscale, like there's a little bit of like a cloud over it. They look really awesome. I am this side. I am not the cloudy. I like how they look, but it's not my brand. I am like, well, clearly I'm like this all of the time. So my brand matches my personality. So you just have to figure out, like, do you want something with more like saturation or something that's a little more like subtle and like bohemian? Might be the right word. Image contrast. Is there a lot of white? Is there a lot of dark? You have to think about those things. Placement of text, zoom on photos. What you want to work on, again, this was in color, and if it was, I could show you a lot better. You want to have it be consistent across the board of the colors being the same, the feel of the photos being the same. So you're not like, this one's so bright, and then there's a bunch of like clear white space. If you're doing white space, do a lot of white space. Don't like try to mix and match. Does that make sense? Because if you have a clear, consistent theme on your social media and things like that, people will become more attracted to you because they know that what they're going to get when they come instead of getting a bunch of different things. Is this making sense? This is my feed. It's not in color, so you can't even tell the colors. And then I talked about placement of text and zoom on photos. You want consistency. I'm coming in close with this. This is how every single one of my lips pictures looks. I make sure that it's zoomed up, cutting off just the tippy top of my hair, that my watermark is always right here in the corner of my hair, and then the name and the gloss that I'm using is on the left. So anytime someone sees one of these, even if they're just scrolling, they know that's me because it looks the same as all my others, but they don't actually have to stop and say, was that Deidre? They're like, yep, there's Deidre, there's Deidre, there's Deidre, there's Deidre, there's Deidre, there's Deidre. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I'm going to give you some apps. I'm going to give you some apps to use. These are my favorite apps. Ready? Get your pens out. The apps that I use the most are, very first, Canva. I live by it. I swear by it. I use it every day. I think it's amazing. I will never ever tell someone to use a different designing app again first because I love this one. You can set your brand in Canva. So I have my brand, my colors, and my text, like my fonts, all set in Canva. And so I never have to go research and refine the colors or try or hope that it's similar to my last one. It's all set in there. So when I design things, they all look the same and it's perfect and beautiful and it's a lot less stress. The other thing is, going back to this image, I'm OCD. I like everything to be the exact same. I don't like one thing thicker than the other. I like them all to be the same. You can copy over images. So I can say, whatever, goddess, click on this goddess one, click copy, and then just tweak the things so that it says now bombshell and has the bombshell picture. You got it? So you can tweak images really easily, and you have like this whole library of things that you've created, and it's perfect and beautiful and organized, and I love it. Canva. Live it, love it, all the things. I've never paid for it. I think there's a paid version too. I just use the free one. I honestly couldn't tell you what the difference is between paid and unpaid because I'm cheap and I use the free one. Okay, the next thing that I use is WordSwag. This is for quick, easy graphics to post whenever I want. I always use the same background because consistency is key, and I always use the same color and the same couple different like icons at the bottom. Pay for these apps. Do not, if they are putting their own watermark in the bottom, do yourself a favor and either never use it again or pay for it, because there's nothing that says unprofessional more than the word pic collage or Typorama or whatever that app is in the bottom. Pay for the app. It's a business expense. They're usually a couple dollars. You'll use it for the rest of your life. You can restore it on every phone you buy for the eternity. Pay for the app. Pay for it, pay for it, pay for it. I'll say it 100 million more times. Pay for it. Yes. WordSwag is $5. It's a little bit more, but I like it the best. I think it's the easiest to use. It does everything for you, so it's like low thought process. I don't know if that's the right way to say that. It's like low... I can't think of any words right now. It's easy. There we go. Okay. My other favorite app is Snapseed. I use this to make all of my colors match. So for example, if I'm somewhere and there's orange walls and I don't, like I've said earlier, I don't really love orange, I will use Snapseed to make sure that that photo can match the other pictures in my feed or to match my brand. I'm more of a cool tones person, so I will use Snapseed and I'll go tweak and adjust so that it matches my brand. I don't ever change it to the point that it looks different than what it actually was. I don't believe in that, but I do believe in making sure that the colors align. You'll see this when you go to my feed. A lot of my things have the same feel because I go to Snapseed every time. I do the same things. I go to brighten, I change it to a certain number. I go to saturation, I change it to a certain number. I go to warmth, I change it to a certain number. I go to, just so everything matches and looks cohesive. Typorama is another one worth paying for. I've never used Typorama because I have Canva and WordSwag, but I do see a lot of people using it. Some other really great apps that I don't use as often, or I don't use, or I used to use and I don't now because I found ones that I like better, that are great options are PicMonkey, PicMonkey. They have an app. They're a lot better to use on a desktop, so picmonkey.com. You can easily edit photos. If you prefer a computer, I would recommend checking out PicMonkey. They've got ways you can add in text, all of that, edit the photos, XYZ. Another really popular photo editing app is VSCO, VSCO, VSCO. And then another app similar to Canva is called Over. I prefer, like I said, I prefer Canva. One of the girls on my team loves Over. She prefers Over 100 times more. I do not. But, you know, it's important to know all of the apps that are out there because some of us, our brains work different way. So you might like a different one better. Okay, so now you know your brand. Now you got your branding. Now this is the important thing. Once you have those things figured out, it means nothing if you don't use it. You need consistency in your content, okay? You need to be consistent. You never want someone to think, is she still selling Synergence? Do you think Deidre's still doing that like lip stuff? I don't know. You never want someone to think that, because the second that someone thinks that is the second your business dies. Sorry. Because people are either going to think you quit, they're going to think you gave up, they're going to think the product's not good, they're going to go find someone else to buy from. There's so many things that come from you not being consistent. So be consistent now and create that consistency, because that's going to create better engagement, better sales, better business, better all of the above. Just better, 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 better. Consistency is key, and the easiest way to avoid people wondering if you're still selling is to be consistent in your posting. I've got another sheet for you that is backwards that you can't even see. So consistency doesn't mean just selling. This is where you tie in your brand. So I know a lot of people feel like they can't be consistent because they don't want to be posting about selling things every day. They don't want to be posting about the new color every day, or whatever. They don't you don't want to post and push products and recruiting and all of that every single day. This is where your brand comes in, and your brand is going to make consistency so much easier. Consistency doesn't mean just selling. Go back to those questions we talked about at the beginning. Go back to that brand. Go back to the things people thought you were an expert in. Go back to what your customers think about you. Go back to what you think about yourself, and create content around those items. Okay? You use those items to create the content. And that will also help create consistent engagement in your group, because as you're bringing in those things, people want to hear those things from you, so they're more willing to engage. Does that make sense? You can add in funny items, personal items. You want to bring in a lot of different things about you. Over here, I've got some things that you can see, but they're backwards, so maybe you can't. But also when you're posting, you don't want every single thing to be a text and a photo, text and a photo. Sometimes just post text, sometimes post a GIF, sometimes post a video. Mix it up, because everybody likes to see different things. I, for one, don't like to read long posts. I'll get about a paragraph in and then I'll skim it. And I also don't like to have to listen to my sound, so I like to have videos that have the captions on them. I'm weird. So I make sure to include different things because everyone reads different. Whereas when I post a long, because I'm a type, like I said, I like to talk. I'm a talker, I'm a typer. I like to share all my thoughts and feelings. I think I'm very good at it. Toot, not to toot my own horn, but I just did. I think like that is a skill that I have. And so I like to type out long posts, and those tend to get more engagement for me because for some reason, even though I don't like to read them, other people like to read my long posts. So I like to mix it up. So over here, I have some of them that I've done that have done well for me. There's this one of Queen Bee. When it's her birthday, we all know a birthday queen. I don't just post on my birthday, whatever. I said this is totally me because it totally is. And I think it's so funny to put in gifts and things like that. Here's one that I was telling everybody about my new exciting news, and I gave them a link to go to and like let them in on a little personal part of what I've been working on. Over here's a live video so that they could see me live like you are right now. Down here is me talking about America, and I did a little fashion along with a little look. Over here, I'm giving people some ideas about cooking because I don't know why I don't actually cook, but I heard Instapots are amazing. And over here, I talked about like the company. So I'm including different things, videos, text, consistency, adding in a lot of different things so I can be consistent and never feel like I am a big commercial. Because this is what happens. When you talk about sales all the time, you become a commercial. And what do people usually do to commercials? Turn them off? Fast forward through them? They don't like them. Commercials are the worst. You are a show. You are not a commercial. You should be a show. Your brand is a show, and your SeneGence ads are a commercial in between that people don't care if they are there because they're not taking up 5 minutes of their day. I don't mind watching commercials if they're only a few minutes, but when they go on, and I'm like, you just gave me a 5-minute commercial break, I'm like, bye. But when it's 2 minutes, that's fine. So you want to be the show and have other things be the commercial. You are a show. You are the show. Your brand is the show. Don't be a commercial. Okay. Some other great ways to build consistency are to make sure you know when your audience is on. So you have your brand, you know what you're using, you've got ideas for posts, know when your brand is on. Use insights, make sure that you're checking when your people are on reading things and watching things because that is going to help you be more consistent. Okay, I've got a quote and then I'm going to wrap it up. Feel free to ask any questions as I'm wrapping up. I just talked forever. I'm really sorry. This training turned out to be a lot longer than I was planning on. Your personal brand is a promise to your clients. A promise of quality, consistency, competency, and reliability. Your brand, what you're posting, who you are, is a promise to everybody that follows you and sees what you're doing. You never, ever, ever, ever want to veer from your brand, because then you're breaking a promise to everybody that follows you. And that is what I'm going to end with. If you have any questions, now is your chance to ask them. While I'm waiting for any questions to come in, if there are any, if you'd like to get to know me better or utilize me at all, because I know Heather's really, really awesome and really, really wonderful, and I really love her and the way she trains and teaches and all of that, but I do know that sometimes it helps to get ideas from other teams or to connect, because we're all doing different things. You know what I mean? So if you ever have any questions for me or want to get to be friends a little bit more, because I love friends and that's why this company is so great, you can find me on social media. It's at Deidre M, at DEIDREEM at Deidre M on all social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter, but I have one. So like literally you can find me that anywhere. If you're at Leaders, I really want to hug you and give you just like the biggest hug and be friends. So make sure you come find me. I'm all about being friends and connecting, and I love this company for that. I'm so, so grateful that Heather invited me to come be here and to say a lot more words than she probably expected me to. But I love talking, and I love when people listen to me talk. So thank you for letting me